and welcome to HWA News.
We have lots of spectacular stories for you.
In today's news, we have soil erosion with Anthony,
Farmland availability with Kayla, competition with big companies with Evelyn, and transportation information with Yuki,
and other stories. Before we get to that, let's look at a heartwarming story about two turtles named Bob and Mr. Medendorf who were rescued from a densely populated tank in a pet store.
Hello, my name is Mr. Medendorf, and this is my friend Bob. Hi, my name's Bob. Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm pretty energetic. You know, this one day, I want to tell you a story. So, we were in this fish tank with a bunch of other turtles, and the turtles were on top of each other. They were stacked on top like sandwiches, you know, like the meat, the buns. Well, you get the idea. Yeah, it was pretty cramped. And then one day, this dude and all these kids came and they took us. And I didn't know where they were taking us. I was kind of freaking out a little bit, just a little bit. Anyways, they took us to this pond and they dropped us in. They dropped us right in this big pond. Yeah, and they saved our lives. Now I hide under rocks, I eat fish, I do all sorts of cool things, and I just chill. Thank you for listening to our story. I'm Bob, and I'm Mr. Medendorf.
That was a very heartwarming story, wasn't it, Audrey?
Yeah, it was.
The fish tank in the pet store, now that I think about it, it is like an apartment in a city.
And the pond to me is like fields in a rural area.
Now for our top story, mass migration in China, including uprooting with our expert in government politics, Maya. And our special guest is from a town in China called Hongyatsun. Please welcome George and Maya. Hi Maya. Hi George. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
It's okay. Anyways, we moved the people from their homes. It sounds bad, but we might build a school there. And it will also help the economy grow. We'll have more money, more factories, more jobs for people, and in the end, everyone will be happy.
Now let's see how George feels about all this.
我好难过啊！政府要拆掉我们农村的房子，那样很多传统文化都会被破坏啊！现在我要被迫离开我的家园，离开我唯一的家。我不知道农村传统的文化怎么继续传承。
That must be hard for you, George. Thank you, Maya and George, for being on the show.
Now that we heard from a person who lived in a farm and the city, we should learn about Beijing and farmers from Jason.
The population in Beijing is 90,600,000 in 2014 years. The population has increased by about 12 million people in the last 50 years. Close to 6 million farmers have moved to Beijing in the last 45 years.
This is Anthony, and he will be explaining what soil erosion is. So tell us, Anthony, what is the meaning of soil erosion?
Soil is the Earth's fragile skin, which contains nutrients and the ecosystem. Soil erosion is the blowing away of the top layer.
Now we know what soil erosion is. What are the causes of soil erosion?
It's caused by rainfall and wind. While it is a natural process, human activities sped up soil erosion by 10 to 40 times the normal rate.
So tell us, what are the consequences of soil erosion?
The consequences of soil erosion make serious problems for farmers. Actually, when the top layer of soil is not fertile anymore, there are problems for everyone. Soil erosion leaves less land to grow crops. This is our food.
Now, how much soil is touched by erosion?
Half of the top soil on the planet has been lost in the last 150 years.
So now the question everybody is dying to hear. What are the human causes to soil erosion?
Deforestation, intensive agriculture, roads, use of chemicals, urban extensions, are the most significant activities.
Thank you for being on the show with us today and telling us so many interesting facts about soil erosion.
You're welcome.
Now we will be listening to some information about farmers leaving with Kayla.
Thank you, Audrey. Now let's talk about farmers leaving. Farmers leaving Singapore doesn't really happen, so I don't know about it. Although I know about China's uprooting. China is pushing ahead with a sweeping plan to move 250 million rural residents into newly constructed towns and cities, which would or could be a brand new environment for them. The government, by command, is replacing small rural homes with high rises, paving over the vast swaths of farmland and drastically altering the lives of rural dwellers. Hey, you know what? I'm going to give you some information on urban farming. Over the last 2 or 3 years, more than 80 plots with fruits, herbs, and veggies have sprung up not only in private and public housing estates, but also in malls, schools, and houses, as urban farming takes off here. One last thing. Just last month, the Singapore Managed University launched such a garden about the size of a basketball court outside the School of Accountancy and Law building. So if you're there, you should check it out. Thank you.
Next, we have Evelyn talking about competition between farmers and corporations.
Thank you, Audrey, for welcoming me. I want to bring up the topic of competition between farmers and corporations. We all know that farmers make food.
Do you know who owns the rights to seeds?
Well, big companies own many property rights to seeds. Many farmers spend a lot of their money buying seeds from big corporations. Aside from charging more money for seeds, cause smaller farms to go out of business by being able to produce more money and sell it as a lower price. Corporation like Monsanto does not favor farmers. Therefore, many farmers are leaving the business to find work in cities. As a result, the big corporations gain even more control over the food market.
We are back again with Anthony with reasons on why we are constructing roads and building houses instead of keeping nature. So tell us, Anthony, what are the damages to the environment by building roads?
There are different kinds of damages to environment by building roads. Pollution from vehicles, noise, destruction of trees and grassland, moving animals from one place to another, and water pollution, rainwater going off the road full of gasoline and chemicals and then goes in the river.
Thank you, Anthony, for sharing information about how nature gets destroyed by roads and homes. As our last topic, we will be joined by Yuki. She is from Singapore's Transportation Committee. She will be talking about public transportation. Hi, Yuki. Please tell us more about Singapore's public transportation system.
In Singapore, there are a lot of different public transportation, such as 274 SBS buses, 102 SMRT buses, and 5 MRT lines and 3 LRT lines. The reason why Singapore has a lot of different public transportation is to save clean air, reduce traffic, and you can commute people faster. If we use a car, we will cause air pollution and traffic, and also if there are any traffic, we can get to place on time. If it's bus, they have bus lanes, so it's less chance to get stuck. So it's better to use public transportation.
Hi Maya, hi Joy. Stop.
If I do that, it will seem like I'm talking to Maya.
What? No,
So
no,
it's
face
like-
me.
See?
No, it's facing me actually.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Stop recording.
Yuki, come on.
We're her personal assistant.
I know you are.
You know it's recording? He recorded it.
Oh my God!
That's where I started.
Say it.
Now, let's see how George feels about all this.
In Singapore, there
Take a trip with nature.
You can see llamas.
Call 99 to get a free ride.
Don't add another 9 or we'll be calling the police.
Take roads. It's a better way. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Audrey.
And thank you for watching Hua News, where news gets interesting.
If you really like the bloopers, there's going to be episode 2.
Na, 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 na.